Neither democracy nor development is inclusive enough to have a space for every poor rural village in the Philippines. But democracy and development for all is attainable and worth striving for. It is not an impossible vision. Such was the view and conviction of PRRM's founders when they organized this mass movement in 1952. The PRRM founders, civic-minded Filipinos led by Dean Conrado Benitez of the University of the Philippines, other prominent citizens of the country, and Dr. Y.C. James Yen, a Chinese educator, believed there were potentials out there, innate among the poor themselves, waiting to be released. All that's needed was a movement that could trigger and assist the liberating process. PRRM sent its community development workers to the villages to implement its integrated fourfold program of education to combat ignorance, livelihood to combat poverty, health to combat sickness, and self-governance to combat civic inertia.
Ngayon, pagka na-present mo yung tinatawag na problema ng barangay, tatanungin mo mga tao, paano ba natin ito lulutisin? Nakikihanap kami ng mga operator, isa o dalawang magsasaka. Kahit isang pilapel sa bukid, gagawin yan. Ang mga worker natin hindi natatakot tumuntong sa putik. Nagtatanim. Kuminsan nakikipagbiruan sa mga magtatanim ng palay para ma-implement. Kasi pag wala kang rapport sa mga taong yan, hindi tutulong sa iyo. Para lang itong eksperimento ng isa nating Chinese staff, si Dr. Ma. Hindi ko alam kung ano first name niya. At yan ay sinubok sa Nangka, Marikina. At yan nga, nag-eksperimento sila. Kung sakali niya, dati nung araw, ang mga barangay lieutenant, tinatawag, ay karaniwan appointed. At ang mga tinatawag na konsehal ay appointed din. Pero ang sabi ng kailangan matutong pumili ang mga tao. Kaya nagkaroon ng simple plebisito sa baryo. At yan nga, napakita kay Senador Kabili ang pamamaraan. At yan, pinasa niya sa Kongreso na magkaroon ng barangay o barrio charter law. At magkaroon ng mga iba-ibang pang improvement. Nandoon yung apat na fourfold. Mayroong konsehal para sa livelihood, may konsehal para sa health, may konsehal para sa education, may konsehal para sa self-government or organization sa barrio.
This initiative proved successful and led to the enactment of the Barrio Charter Act of 1959, creating popularly elected village governments throughout the country. More than 5 decades have passed since PRRM was founded. While its work in its program villages have borne fruit by way of increased incomes for the farmers and better health and education for their families, the situation at the national level has not improved. Poverty and inequality have remained in many other villages and towns of the country. Instead of getting reduced, it has in fact worsened over the years. Social conflict has intensified over the last 3 decades. On top of this, the Philippines is now facing serious environmental degradation.
Organized some workshops to think about what PRRM should be, because PRRM was in a stage where it was dormant. So we decided we're going to have workshops and think about what kind of organization PRRM would be. As we all know, PRRM had been involved in the fourfold approach and did a lot of work demonstrating in the field kung ano ang integrated area development. Given the challenges of the times, there was militarization in the countryside, there was hunger in Negros. We came up with a document where we said the focus of PRRM should actually be a combination of field work and policy advocacy. So that's the start of reviving PRRM. And we said the fourfold was still very relevant, and therefore we should focus on an integrated area development approach, but within the framework of democratizing resources and empowering the poor.
That period, the rebuilding period, the context was a period of democratization, a new era, a post-Marcos era. And the main challenge at that time was to undo the things that have been put in place by martial law regime. And that is what we call the democratization process. Also, as we were studying, assessing, reviewing the past, and trying to get some lessons from there, we also tried to fashion a new strategy. We tried to see how the fourfold approach, because the fourfold approach cannot be taken like, each part of that fold would have to be, I would say, properly combined in a sort of setting. For example, the priority to education and to organizing and self-governance, and livelihood and health would come in second only. And that's what we call the reorienting the fourfold approach towards people empowerment, and that's basically changing mindset through education and self-organization of the people.
Sa kasalukuyan, ito nga yung pagtanim ng bakawan. Pero pangunahin kundi namin dito yung pantayan at pangalagaan ng pangisdaan dito sa Orion. Hindi lang sa Orion, isug po na buhuri sa pamamagitan ng PRRM at siyang dumabay. Halos buong suporta ng PRRM dito na nakon yung pangangailangan nito, maging sa livelihood, maging sa sa financial, yung pagsuporta sa financial. Marami aspeto ng pagsuporta na binigay ng PRRM dito sa samahan.
Ang nagagawa po ng call sa aming mga magsasaka, siyempre dito kami umuutang. Nagpautang sila ng bigas kung sa panahon ng gawat. At saka mga yung gastusin namin sa pagsasaka. Magmula nung naitatag itong call, may mga 4 na bis na akong nakahiram. Dahil 1 hektarya lang naman yung bukid ko. Mga 15,000 ang nahiram ko kada isang saka. Dahil kung minsan sa panahon pa ng gawat, mayroon pa yung dagdag pa yung nahiram naming 15,000 piso, mayroon pang dagdag yun. Kung halimbawa, kinakapos kami sa buwan na ng September, yung malapit ng anihan, lalapit kami dito sa call, nagbibigay pa rin sila.
These same stories are recreated wherever PRRM initiates efforts at autonomous, decentralized, and self-reliant local development.
Nagpapasalamat po ako sa PRRM na siyang gumabay at pumutok sa pagiging bantay dagat natin. Sila nagbuo nito. Marami ang naitulong sa amin ng PRRM, tulad ng Peace Sanctuary na kanilang inilunsad dito upang ang pangitlugan ng isda dito sa amin ay madagdagan at magkaroon ng maraming pangitlugan na siyang magsisimula upang dumami ang mga isda dito sa baybay ng Orion. Sa katunayan, na nakatayo na po ang aming Peace Sanctuary sa Dako Puron at patuloy na sumusuporta po ang PRRM sa amin. Lahat po ng mga projects dito at gaya po ng pagtatanim, suportado po ng PRRM at ng aming mayor at ng aming gobernador dito po sa Bataan. Layunin po nila na ipatupad talaga ang paghihigpit para doon sa mga illegal fishing na patuloy na sumisira dito sa karagatan ng di lang po dito sa Orion kundi dito po sa buong Bataan. Labis po kaming natutuwa dahil unti-unti na pong umuunlad ang pangisdaan ng Orion at hindi lang po sa Orion kundi sa buong Bataan.
In all these areas, PRRM has helped set up new organizations, building on existing and indigenous forms, PRRM field workers, backed up by a variety of support services from the National Office, have been ensuring PRRM's rootedness in the everyday lives, local cultures, and struggles of base communities. PRRM hopes to rebuild towns and villages as places worth living and dying for. These towns and villages are not completely hopeless. They continue to be defensible living spaces which can be improved further through community empowering processes with human and dedicated assistance from voluntary organizations like PRRM. These are towns and villages that still retain the possibilities of becoming self-sufficient and secure despite globalization.
As the 11th President of PRRM, it is my intention and my hope, first of all, to continue the good work that has been started by my predecessors, particularly Senator Bobby Tañada and Secretary Horacio Boy Morales Jr., with a special focus on an aspect of sustainable development that all of us believe is a key element in this particular development approach, and that aspect is good governance. In PRRM, we define good governance as governance that is participatory, responsive, honest, fair, transparent, accountable, and one that promotes and practices sustainable development in all its aspects. In the coming years, we will redouble our efforts to help bring about good governance, both by continuing the encouragement and capacity building of our chapters and partner people's organizations in the various provinces, so that they can effectively participate in development decision-making through their membership in local development councils and local special bodies, as guaranteed by the Local Government Code of 1991. We will also do this by motivating and enhancing the capacity of local government officials and personnel in the practice of participatory and sustainable development. Hence, our program of the next 3 years has been labeled Good Governance for Sustainable Development. Under this program, we will carry out both innovative field programs and advocacy activities in 4 key results areas, namely political democracy and development, equitable economic development, social justice and development, and environmental integrity and development. Under political democracy and development, we will encourage and assist our chapters and partner people's organizations in our areas of operation to form provincial rural reconstruction movements, or PRRMs, which will be the core group in each province of a citizens' movement for good governance that will serve both as gadfly and watchdog to encourage the practice of good governance. We will train them for effective participation in local development planning, budgeting, monitoring, and evaluation. We will also offer training to the local government officials and their staff, particularly in the basic concepts and practices of sustainable development.